I have a question that needs answering. Well, I have a question and I'm going to answer it. So you don't have to do anything. It's Sarah here. Hello. We've just done Become a Comfortable Parent, a whole week of a free workshop series last week. And there are some wonderful questions that are still coming through. I can't answer all of them. This one piqued my interest. So here it is. The question is, how would it be best handled when you explain an aspect of something to do with sex, um, and your child asks, "Have you ever done that?" It's a great question, right? And there are so many things in our parenting brain that can hold us back from having ongoing, comfortable, natural, open, easygoing conversations with our children about things to do with bodies and sexuality. And this might be one of those things holding us back. That idea that if we do start talking about it, they're going to ask us a personal question. And what do we do then? Let's talk about it. I have 3 different points that may help you in having, if you have this quandary at home. So first point is about info, the second point is about needs, and the third point is about working together. So let's get going on point 1. If your child asks you, "Did you do that?" it means they need information. What is going on behind the question they are asking? It's probably something along the lines of, well, the thing they were talking about sounds really weird, and you're not weird. So did you do that? Because if you did it, then maybe it's not as weird as I think it is. Right? We don't know what's going on in their head, but they're seeking reassurance perhaps or further information. So when they ask a question, whether or not we feel comfortable answering it, they still have an unmet need. Point 2, you have needs too, right? All parents have needs of some sort or another. And when we're in a situation where we are talking about something that may feel sensitive to us, then we have a need too. So here is a question. I'm now going to, no, it's not a question, it's a story. Tell you a story about a conversation I had with an 8-year-old to do with, and close your ears if you don't want to hear something about sex, blowjobs. So I was reading a story to my 8-year-old, bedtime story, or maybe we're just talking about the day. That sounds more like it. Talking about the day. How was your day? How was my day? And then a question came up: what is a blowjob? So sometimes if we have shown our child that we are able to listen to the questions they have about these things, they will ask us questions like this. So I said, well, our body is designed so different parts of it feel nice. And there are some parts of it that feel more nice than other parts. So for example, our mouth can feel super nice because it's very sensitive and it likes the taste of things. And our hands can feel nice because they've got lots of nerve endings in them and they're designed to be able to touch things and give us information. And our genitals can feel nice as well. And so a blowjob is usually where someone's mouth is on someone else's genitals. And my child is going like, ugh, that sounds weird. Because it does sound weird, right? Of course it sounds weird, particularly if your child is not anywhere near puberty and so there's just no lived experience in their body of why this might be good. And I say, yeah, it does sound a bit weird. That's true. And this child says, have you ever done that? And I said, yes, I have actually, because I felt comfortable saying that. And then the child says, how many times? And it was at that point where I realized that I didn't want to answer that question. So I said, you know what? That's something private and I don't really want to talk about how many times, but here's what I can tell you. And we talked a little bit more about different things to do with genitals and feeling nice. So we have needs in these situations too. It's not just about our child needing information. We have needs because some things are private. Like you may have a need that you don't even want to talk about, whether you've done a blowjob or had a blowjob. That's just not something you're comfortable with. And so your need matters too, right? Point 3, how does these 2 needs coexist? We have our child who has a need for information and maybe reassurance, and we have our need for a certain amount of privacy. So think about this for a minute. Your child has need for information and you have need for privacy. We could actually talk about the exact situation we are facing with our child in this experience. So they will have asked us a question, what is a blowjob? We will have told them. They will have said, have you ever done that? And you can either say yes or no. But you're in now this environment where you're not sure, you don't want to say anymore. So you can say to them, you know what? There are some things, things to do with sex are wonderful and interesting. And when you're a kid, sometimes things don't make sense. And that's okay because your body isn't at that point yet. You will grow up to understand these things, but be assured that you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So if this feels and sounds weird for you right now, that means you don't have to do it. And you will never have to do it ever if it always is going to feel weird. So you're reassuring them, right? And then you can say, and you know what? We all have different levels of comfort about things. So some people like talking about lots of stuff, and some people only like talking about a little bit of stuff. And so I don't mind talking to you about things to do with sex. And I don't mind answering some questions about what I've done, but some things I like to keep private. So what are some of the things you like to keep private? And they may be willing to tell you what the things are that they want to keep private, but they also might want to keep that private thing private. And you'll go, you know what? Maybe you've got something in your head there that you would like to keep private. And that's how I feel about this situation. But I want to reassure you that talking about this stuff is really important. And I love it when you ask those questions. It's like you're bringing your best scientist question to me. And I love that. And I'm here for you. All right. So you are reassuring them that they will never have to do anything they don't want to do, that their question is awesome, that you love answering their questions, and some things still are private for you. And that is the answer to a parent's question. If I could ask one question, it would be how best to handle it when you explain some aspect of sex and your child asks, have you ever done that? So to recap, the 3 points were, 1, your kid needs information and you are the best person to give it to them because they trust you the most. 2, you have needs too, and that's okay. And 3, how do those 2 needs, a child's need for information and your need for a certain amount of privacy, sit next to each other? They can do that by explaining to your kid that they never have to do anything that they don't want to do. And sometimes we need to have privacy around stuff. And that's just the way that goes. If you would like more support and to learn how to have conversations exactly like what I'm having with you now, because kids need information and support and love and cherishing at home to do with their body and how they're growing up and that puberty is coming and what is it going to be like when they get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or another special friend, and you want to prove to them that they can come to you and ask you anything, then you need Sensitive Conversations Made Easier, which is my program that supports parents to learn how to get more comfortable, have easier conversations about all the things related to bodies and sex, and does it in a kind and compassionate and sort of caring, stress-free way. The link I'll put in the comments below if you would like to learn more about that. Bye for now.